Inherent in the word leadership is death. This is not just coincidental. Leadership means inherent in that word, it's loaded with death. Look at history. Look back into all great people who tried to lead. Whether it's Mahatma Gandhi or Rajiv Gandhi or Indira Gandhi in our country, or Jesus Christ, to Bhagwan Krishna, you can go back to history, or Martin Luther King or Abraham Lincoln or John F. Kennedy. Anybody who takes on the responsibility of leadership carries enormous risks with them. So when somebody said it's a risky business, leadership is risky business. And that is why we say leadership is the art of staying alive. What use is a dead leader for anybody? You kill a leader and he dies. If Gandhi had lived 3-4 more years, maybe a nation would have been better. So we need leaders who can stay alive. So we run leadership workshop. Staying alive. Should I change the mic or something? So leadership is loaded with the word, pregnant with the meaning of death. And in our understanding of leadership, we have nothing called a leader. I don't believe in the word noun, leader as a noun. To us, leadership is an activity which you can engage in. It's only a verb form. You can only engage in leadership, you can't lead. And if you can't lead, you have no followers. And only if you're a leader, then you have to look for followers. But in the school of thought I subscribe to and I come from, we don't believe. We only believe you can exercise leadership. And what do you exercise leadership for? You exercise leadership for let us not disturb his talking. But if his talking disturbs me, I would like to embarrass him by not talking at that time and not disturb him. I am exercising leadership now, right? So leadership is an activity you exercise to mobilize the group and its resources. Now all of you are incidentally occupying positions of authority. You are all exercising authority all the time. How many of you truly exercise leadership? Only you know. I don't know. Now only you can challenge yourself and ask, are you exercising authority or are you exercising leadership? Most of us in positions of power and authority actually end up exercising authority. Not that you can't exercise leadership. Leadership can work with authority, but leadership can work without authority also. Any recent examples that you can think of where leadership work without authority? It immediately comes to mind. Every time I ask this question in the last 1 year, everybody answers. But how many of us would like to be Anna in our colleges? How many of us would actually allow other Anna Agaras in our colleges? Honestly answer me. The moment your colleague, especially a junior colleague, creates a problem, how many of you will call him a leader? How many of you will call him a troublemaker?
Definitely troublemaker.
They're a challenge to us.
See, they become a challenge to you. Now leadership is the activity you engage in to mobilize the group of such people and to do something socially constructive amid enormous uncertainty. So the leadership I would talk, the enlightenment I would ask you to get is to first appreciate leadership as an activity. The second thing is to understand yourselves. Why you are what you are. We are all unique, we are all special. And what makes us special? I'll just explain that in a few minutes from now. The leadership I talk about is understanding others around us, our colleagues, our group of people, our peers, our superiors, our juniors, whatever we call authority. And leadership, most importantly, is the action that links the self to the others. Only when you appreciate this can you be an effective leader. How do you understand yourself? How many of you have actually pondered over this question? So I'll ask a very simple. Is there something that you're ready at this moment of time to die for? If God were to come here and say, in exchange for your life, I will give you what you ask, what would you ask him? Or her, whichever God. What are you ready to die for? People can ask me, why should I die? that's an escapist view, but if you were given an option today and asked, are you ready to die for something that you believe so much in? What would you die for? How many of you actually thought over this question even? We all are born, we live and we die without knowing what we did on this earth. We just pass through. We carry on every day, we do a good job. We get up, we go to college, we run the college, we conduct exams, come back, give results, go back to sleep, have a holiday, come back, start the next admissions. It's over and over and over again, and we retire and come back. But what is our, suppose, what are we ready to die for? Any answers? Pregnant silence.
For what I believe,
Service.
Madam, say something, yeah.
for what I believe to be the truth.
What would that truth be, ma'am? Because it's a very qualified statement. It's what I believe to be the truth. That's a very dangerous way. Truth cannot be multiple, it cannot be driven by beliefs alone. The absolute truth is a truth for you and for me. The challenge that this country is facing is you have an interpretation of your truth and I have my truth and both of us will agree and be fight.
Okay, truth is truth.
Yeah, so what are you ready to die for? What are you ready to die for? To know the truth? Would that be a...
I know the truth. I know the truth.
So you are ready to die for knowing the truth?
Yes.
You are ready to die for knowing the truth? Great. Anybody else?
Service.
You are ready to die for serving others?
Peace and happiness, sir.
Service.
Peace and happiness.
Service for self, service for family, service for society.
And what does service to self and family mean?
Yeah,
Financial?
yeah. If you are an administrator or a principal or a teacher, you see, you want to serve.
Okay.
For what you are paid for and what you believe that you should.
So now you have become an administrator. So you are making that your purpose of life.
No.
Ah.
Even before. As a teacher also. You see.
Okay. Fine. Yeah.
In difference to the India, there are different truths are there.
Let's not get into it. Let's come back to what are you ready to die for.
Let me pose it.
No, let me not even get into
In
that.
India, there are different truths are there, different dharmas are there. In which dharma we have to follow, but which dharma have to...
Let's talk of your Swadharma. Your Swadharma.
I'm telling there are different dharmas are there.
I don't know.
I'm happy to explain to sir.
What are you ready to die for? We stick to that.
Which dharma give you truthful leadership?
Let's not get into that. I refuse to answer your question right now. But let's again go back to my question. What are you ready to die for?
Nobody is going to die for anything with an accident.
So we are very clear both. See, I ask this question because if we don't know what we are ready to die for, we'll pretty much not know what we are ready to live for. Only when we know what you are ready to die for, you are ready to know what you are ready to live for. And leadership begins, the journey of leadership begins with recognizing the purpose of life itself. Purpose of life for us. Only when you know what, if you are ready to die for the truth, that means you are ready to live for the truth. You will fight for the truth, you live for it. If you are ready to die for service, that means all your life has to be service. So what we are ready to die for, very in a paradoxical way, determines what we live for. And many of us go on with life aimlessly. It's a very difficult question to ask ourselves because we don't want the answer. It is not that we can't ask this question. Most of us don't ask this question because we are afraid of the answer we'll get. We are unprepared of the answer we'll get. And the Indian education system doesn't train us to change directions in our life. I was a physician and I was quite a popular physician. I decided to change my life. My parents lost their sleep. What do you mean? You become a doctor? What a waste to society. Oh, all the stories that you all tell. But then I started to live life my way. I'm not saying I did it so everybody should do it. It's not that. It's what we believe in. And this can change. So leadership begins with understanding the purpose of existence itself. And that is the enlightenment. Is something I was, a question or something? Or? I'm sorry sir, I didn't hear you. The journey of leadership starts with understanding what we are ready to live for. So that's not enough. That's no mantra, everybody knows. After that what? I think the next step of leadership is inspiring a shared vision. We can have a purpose of life. We can have a great purpose to serve society. But you alone today will not make much of a difference. We have to, it's not about followers. It's about inspiring others to share the same vision. That's different from followers. Followers hierarchically means they are behind you. But when you inspire others to share your vision, they'll be with you. That's a big difference. So inspiring others to share your vision and then going on further in life and doing the next step, actually doing the action. I remember what Swami Vivekananda said. He said it so beautifully. He said, all you need to lead are 3 H, he said. Looks very simplistic. The first H is the heart to feel. We have to be really emotional, and that's where the EQ comes in. We have to really feel for something. Feel to such an extent that I'm ready to die for that. That's the kind of energy you need. He said, feel, my children, feel. And he was more socially constructive. He said, feel for the poor, the downtrodden, the marginalized. Feel till your heart stops and your mind reels and you think you'll go mad. Look at the kind of feeling he asks us to generate. And then he said, will come enormous power. We need to feel. Leadership begins with the power to feel. It could be feeling for your college. It could be feeling for your family. It could be feeling for yourself. Many times we don't even think highly of ourselves. That's a problem. We always think low of ourselves. I can't do this, sir. It's very difficult, sir. Please let me go. I'm not capable. And we create this image of negativism in our own minds. But even before we take the first step, we stop leading. Leave alone lead others. We don't lead ourselves. The next H, Swamiji says, is the head to think. Enormous leadership we need. I want to ask a few questions to all of you. You all deal with 19, 20-year-old boys mostly, right? Boys and girls at the degree level. Very simple questions I'll ask you. And I think the answers are important. The first question is, any idea what percentage of Indians in this country, in rural India, have access to safe drinking water?
10%.
And Andhra, normally, my understanding of young people, I keep coming to Hyderabad a lot and I keep interacting. From 8th standard, they'll start coaching them for IIT, right? From 5th standard, they'll start coaching them for, LKG, oh my God. And it's funny, most of these boys don't know the answers to these questions. I don't know what we are creating for this country. What kind of leadership we are creating for this future. That's because the people who teach them don't know the answers to these questions. They don't stop to ask these questions. I asked a very simple question. I didn't ask a question for IAS entrance. I asked what percentage of Indians living in our villages have access to drinking water? What percentage of our children or people in rural areas have access to a toilet? What percentage of Indians, forget this debate of planning, let's not worry about it. How many Indians actually get to eat more than 1800 kilocalories per day? At 2 o'clock, I was very hungry. Me and Naushad walked up, refused to give us food, we came back. We sat there. So we were, thankfully they refused it because we could listen to Mrs. Agarwal's lecture. I was happy because of that. We had a whole lecture there. And then we had to find a way for food then. So we got sumptuous lunch afterwards. I was just thinking at that time, I didn't have breakfast, that is all. Nothing else. I just didn't have one meal this morning. And I was so hungry. Imagine, 680 million Indians in this country eat less than 1800 kilocalories. What kind of a country have we built for ourselves? Less than 40% have access to at least 40 liters of safe drinking water per day. Only 30% have access to a toilet. 74% of our women in rural areas are anemic. If I were to check your blood right now, why am I asking these questions? These are unconnected questions to leadership. But I think they're all connected to leadership. And the kind of leadership that you people can do and prepare your students for. That is feeling. If you can get your students to feel, and that can happen if you feel, it has to begin with you. If you can feel that 54% of children in this country are malnourished, half the country is malnourished, how can we live with it? How can we even accept that half the country in this country is malnourished? The Prime Minister calls it a national shame and then goes to sleep. That's a national shame. 54% of our children are malnourished and we all keep quiet about it. And we waste food. And this year's slogan for the UM is think, eat, save. And nobody thinks, how many of us thought the food we left on our plate this afternoon? How many of us thought about the plastic we throw out in the afternoon? Just think. These are questions that begins if you're a leader. If you're a man in authority, you'll talk about the budget. How much money I need to run this program, how much money I need to do something. If you're a leader, you would have gone deeper and asked these questions. And that comes from the heart to feel. And then you use the head to think. Think of solutions. Think of solutions for society, not for yourselves. A leader is not about himself. A leader is always about others. That is leadership. And the third H, Vivekananda says, is the hands to work. You can't stand and tell everybody what to do. You got to go do it yourself. And all that I ask you is extraordinary. You're all placed in such extraordinary positions. You have to exercise authority. Don't get me wrong. You cannot run your organizations if you don't exercise authority. Hierarchically, you have to exercise authority. But all I'm asking is, along with the authority you exercise, can you also exercise leadership? And then you will change your institutions. What do you do for that? You need to understand yourselves for that. Many of you were not completely honest when I asked you, what is your purpose? Let me explain. Whether you like it or not, I like it or not, neurobiology determines how we think. The brain is just an organ of chemicals. It's a beautiful organ. It's an extraordinary organ. Which is the closest animal to a human being? Biology teachers would be here. Elephant, porcupine, rat,
Very long.
monkey, and any more answers? Dolphins. It's actually genetically a chimpanzee is the closest to human.
And what do you
Think of the genetic difference between us and chimpanzee. How much of a difference?
what is there a difference
Between us and chimpanzee?
The capacity to speak.
Capacity to speak, okay.
Feel, sir.
It can feel, it can also feel, but very limited, okay.
Organize.
We are organized, and why? Why are we? Why are we able to speak? Why are we able to think? Why are we able to organize ourselves? Size of the brain, what is the difference? It is not less than what we have. You're all right, but what else? It's a quadruped, we are a biped, it's covered with hairs. We forget all the simple things first, right? We can't speak, we can speak. And the genetic difference between us and chimpanzees, you will be surprised, is 0.4%. So just 0.4% change in genes has resulted in man. But I am not asking you to focus on the 0.4%. Look at the 99% which is the same. We share 99.6% of genes with the chimpanzee. They are as good as your relative. Sometimes we are an environment to chimpanzees, that is different. The difference is the brain. We have something called the neocortex, the neo brain. Chimpanzees have what is called the mammalian brain. That difference in brain gives us all this cognition, thinking, language, talking, workshops, teaching, leadership. And that 4% difference also gives us a basic drive. This is called, now science has identified 4 basic drives. There will be much more, but we have not discovered them. The first drive that we call, for want of a better terminology, we call them D1, D2, D3 and D4. As you understand yourself, you have to understand these drives of yourself. The first drive is called the drive to acquire. We all love to acquire. There are 2 kinds of acquisitions. One is called zymotic acquisitions, physical. We want a nice house. We want a great salary. We want a nice car. And it is not wrong. There is no judgmentality here. I am not value judging anybody. It is just the way we are driven. Some of us are driven for money. Some of us by money. That's all. All of us have all the 4 drives. Some of the drives are more dominant in us. Enlightened leadership is coming to understand these drives and manifesting the most appropriate drive at the right time. Otherwise, you will lead your life by default. I am asking you to lead by design. Owning yourself, mindful of yourself. Enlightened is very reflective. Is there an alternate mic? It's very reflective leadership. It's contemplative leadership. It's leadership which makes you very mindful. It's all about Buddhism in action. So the first drive, the drive to acquire, first is called thymotic drive, where physicality is what we acquire. How nice house to live in, a new car, a new cell phone. The moment S4 comes in, we want Samsung S4. My friend gets a Samsung S5, I want that. I would have bought this only 2 months ago. Your children want a cell phone, your children want a car, your children want a motor, everybody wants to acquire. You also want to acquire. You have a nice house now, you want a bigger house. You always feel that I could have gotten bigger. I could have built that one extra room upstairs. I could have made this toilet slightly different. All of us have this. The next drive, the same drive to acquire, we have is called erotic acquisitions. That is name, fame, position. I am the director of the school. I am the college of education director. I am principal secretary education. Please serve me. Please madam me. How dare you talk to me like this? I am principal of this college. That is your drive to acquire coming up. We are all driven like that. There is nothing wrong in that. These are basic drives. We all have it. I have it, you have it. What is dominant is what we have to be enlightened about. The next drive is a drive to bond. Society continues, civilization continues because of the drive to bond. We like to marry, we like to have children, we like to have families, we like to belong to a college, we like to belong to an organization, we like to work for the government. We all like to bond. In this room from morning to evening, you'd all made new friends. You'd have met some old friends, you'll go sit only beside them. Why are ladies all sitting in one corner, men are sitting separately? And then keep asking yourself this question. All this is leadership. Why are only the officers sitting in front? Why wouldn't people go sit there? These are questions we need to ask. Why are special guests like us taken to lunch separately? Why are we bonded with separately? Why are we not bonded with separately? All these are leadership questions. And being sensitive about them is what is enlightened leadership. I'm not saying you should change all this. I'm just saying being aware of it, being mindful of it is enlightenment. We all have a desire to bond. My challenge is very different. My desire to bond is very here. My drive to bond. If you let me alone, I'll be happy. But some people will realize their drive to bond will be there. They'll make friends with everybody. They come in the morning, they'll talk to everybody. You might see your own students. They'll be the most popular students in their class, right? They'll talk to everybody, they'll become friends with everybody, they'll be chatting with everybody. Some students will not open their mouth at all. And we brand them and say, where is the quiet? Talk. Poor fellow, he's not driven to talk. Why do you force him? When you understand these drives, you'll appreciate your students better. You'll actually appreciate yourself better. Everybody, we are what we are because that's the way we are driven. And you can change it. You don't have to say it, accept it. I can help you change it. The next drive is the drive to learn. Many of you are here because your D3 is working, your drive to learn. Leadership, society continues because of the drive to learn. And mankind is learning so much. The United Nations had recently a workshop 20 years ago, 2000, late 1900, 2000 that time, on how change is happening to humanity. And what they discovered is all the learnings of society and of human beings in 1900 years was equal to the learning of 100 years between 1901 and 2000. What we learned in 100 years took us 1900 years to learn. And you'll be fascinated. What was learned in 100 years was actually learned in 1 year. And I'm sure today the same UN does the same experiment. What we learned till yesterday, we've actually learned more today. We're all learning so much so fast. And that's because the drive to learn. We're all driven by the drive to learn. The danger for leadership drive, what we call the drive to defend. We're all defending all that we acquire. If you're principal today and your title is taken off, you defend it. If you're given a salary of ₹1,00,000 and you're demoted and given 50,000, you will fight for it, you will defend it. If your wife is taken away, you will defend it. If some other man looks at your wife with a little lustful eyes, you will defend it. You're all like this, normal. That is what the drive to defend. But the danger comes when we defend our learning. Oh, I studied at Harvard, I had a PhD from there. I must be great. You're all idiots. We all defend it. We all do this. I am a physics professor. I know all about physics. Well, I've been teaching leadership for 20 years. What do you know? We all defend what we learn. More importantly, we defend our beliefs, we defend our religion, we defend our cultures. We fight over it. And that is the problem for mankind. The most uncontrollable drive is the drive to defend. Leadership is about control, not about controlling others, as is taught in MBA schools. It's about controlling yourself and your drives. That is enlightenment. That is enlightened leadership that I would like you all to think about. What this is taught as a 2-semester course. I know I can't do it in 2 hours, but I'm just dropping you seeds so you can think about it. So why are we like this? And we're now understanding ourselves. I'd like to quickly go into understanding others. How do we understand our colleagues? We're all working with colleagues. I have 5-10 more minutes.
Another 10 minutes.
10 minutes, yeah. How do we understand others? I'll quickly jump into it. We ran experiments to actually know how do we all grow? How do we understand? How do we think? And I'll quickly sum up the experiment. This is run at Harvard actually for the last 30 years. We took people from 170 countries and studied them. How do they respond to others? How do they think? So I want to challenge all of you and ask a very simple question. Let's say we go to the top roof of this building. Maybe let's imagine this building is 20 floors. We go to the 20th floor and look down. You're 2 years old. Imagine you're 2 years old, or your grandchild of 2 years, or your child of 2 years. You show the child the scene below. And what is below? This lot of cars are coming, the cars are coming and stopping, people are getting out of the car, they're walking inside the room, getting out of the building, getting into the car, leaving. That's the scene. Now we asked this 2-year-old child to describe the scene to us, not explain how it feels. We're asking you to describe the scene. How do you think? In 170 countries, this was a question asked. How do you think children would describe that scene at 2 years of age? Some intelligent guesses.
The child will say that some ants come inside and ants go out.
They're looking like dogs. They're dogs. He'll put his hand to take a car and play. Right? Excellent. 90% of children felt that way. The bell curve response is, such small toys, I want to play with them. Small people, small cars, let me take it. The same child, when it is 12 years old, is taken to the same building and shown the same scene. How will that child now describe that scene?
There is fear now.
Huh?
There is fear now in it.
Not how it feels. Describe the scene again. Just describe the scene. How will it describe?
Art. By sketching art.
Description. How will it describe it?
We talk about heights and the cars looking.
So how cars looking small, right? At 2 years, the car itself was small. At 12, the car is looking small. Are you seeing the difference? 2 years, the subject-object relationship is, the subject is the child, the object itself is small. When it is 10 years later, education, parents have taught it, experience have taught it, that the farther the object is, it looks smaller. So in 10 years, the subject-object distinction comes in. The object is not small, it is looking small. When it was 2, the object itself was small. When we say be objective, this is what we mean. Objectivity is the ability to describe reality as close to reality as possible. So next time when you tell your colleague, that fellow is not objective at all, ask yourself, is it because he is not agreeing with you, or he is not able to see your reality or your truth, but he is not able to see the truth as it really is. That's why I argued with him. Being objective means describing reality as close to reality as possible. Now, leadership is having the ability to get as close to reality as possible and operating from that zone of competence. Which means you have to be humble enough to accept your own incompetence too. So leadership is not about competence. Leadership is about your incompetence. And learning to operate in your zone of incompetence is what leadership is. Most of us are not trained for that. We are trained to be competent, more and more competent. Nobody teaches us how to work with incompetence. The leadership that we teach is learning to work with incompetence. It sounds very counterintuitive. But think deeply and reflect about it. That is the solution for this world today. It's not about acquiring more competences. It's about coming to terms with your competence and your incompetence and learning to use both. Now, based on this ability to distinguish subject and object, we found three kinds of people. The Bhagavad Gita describes it beautifully. Thousands of years ago, whether the Krishna existed or not, whether Vyasa wrote it or not, I don't know all that. But what is there in the Gita is what I know. So beautifully talks of three kinds of human temperaments. It talks of what? Rajasic, Tamasic and Sattvic. Scientific literature describes it differently. Research at Harvard describes it differently. The first category of people who are unable to distinguish subject-object or who have less objectivity, we call less mentally complex people. We can actually measure it. Today we have tools to measure it. These less mentally complex people are the people who are we call them socialized mindset. They are followers. They listen to whatever you say. Their understanding of reality will be what their boss tells them. So in your own offices, in your own schools and colleges, you will have people who do exactly what you say. You have Parents' Day celebration, you will call your favorite three teachers, not because they are your favorites, but because they will do exactly what you want them to do. And you tell them go to this show. And they do a great job. If they start thinking on their own and question you and challenge you like Madam said, they are the last person to bring on board. Now, the first group is called socialized mindset, who are traditionally the followers. They don't have their own construct of reality. They will construct the reality as told to them. The next set of people, your challengers, they are called the self-authoring mindset. They authorize themselves. They are very independent people. They are people who have their own minds. As a bad leader, if you have a new project, if you put 5 self-authoring people together, will a project get delivered? They'll fight in 5 directions and it will fall apart. If you're an intelligent leader, delegation is about identifying people with the right skills, the right combination and putting them together. So if I were you, for a new project, I put 1 or 2 self-authoring people with 4 or 5 socialized people. Then possibly it will work. But what happens when there are too many self-authoring people in our college? We feel threatened. We feel insecure. We feel, who the hell are these people to tell us everything? We are afraid that they'll take over our position. So we want to sabotage them. So we'll always put them down. That means you have to rise higher. And the next level of leadership we call is self-transformational leadership. If socialize is one step, self-authoring is the second step, self-transformational is the third highest step. There you recognize the interdependence of people. The first set of people are dependent, the second set of people are independent, the third kind of leadership is interdependent. You understand the benefit of reciprocity, you understand what interdependence is all about. And that's exactly, you'll also appreciate that you need self-authoring people as much as you need socialized people. And if you should not be riddled with insecurity, you will have to constantly become self-transformational. That is the journey of leadership. That is enlightenment. That is the pursuit of most religions today. Unfortunately, they don't describe it that way. That is the discovery of yourself. And hopefully, all of you are in positions of authority. Very few have this opportunity. If imagine a world where people in authority start exercising enlightened leadership, start exercising leadership in a very responsible way, a very responsive way to society and its needs, the world will be a better place. Humanity will be a better place. And that's what all of us are born for. All of us are born to make this world a better place, better than what we are leaving it behind. I really wish you all well, and hopefully our paths will cross again, and maybe sometime we'll have a longer session with each of you. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer it. Thank you. Asking you to ask questions at 5:30 in the evening is torture. I know that, but it's my duty, and so I complete my duty. If anything, I'll be happy to share.
About your work with Lokayukta, say as investigating officer, can you share a few?
I can write a book about it.
Yeah, but at least one.
The one thing I keep sharing whenever I meet Santosh Hegde is, I said I was living happily in the forest. He pulled me out and destroyed my happiness. For 5 years I have seen misgovernance at its worst. To the point where I can very shamefully hang my head down and say Karnataka is one of the now I'm not, last 2-3 months I have not made an assessment, so I don't know. But one of the least governed states, the most misgoverned states, one of the most corrupt states in the country. Our corruption is horrendous. You can't believe the extent of corruption. I'll give an example. If I am the chief minister and you come to me for denotification, yesterday our chief minister has made an announcement. He's no longer going to denotify land sites. If a chief minister has to say that in assembly, go deeper. The last 5 years, corruption has worked so beautifully. Lokayukta, we catch you on papers. Government is all about records and papers. So if you have the papers to show you're dishonest, you get caught. If you don't have the papers, you never get caught. That's all. That's why I couldn't convict anybody. What they have started doing in Karnataka was I denotified. And in return, half the land you give it, you register it in the names I give you. We don't know those people exist also. But it gets, because I call up the registrar of stamps and duties and he'll register whatever you want as chief minister. And that is my investment. I don't have to collect cash from you. I don't have to worry about Swiss bank and keep it there. Land you can never track, Lokayukta can never track because it will never be in your name. I don't have to declare assets anywhere. I never get stuck. When I want, I'll sell it. It's converted non-agricultural prime property in Bangalore for crores. I get for free. And I can encash it when I want. We have wonderful ideas in corruption. People have fine-tuned the art of corruption. These scams are just what surface. So I think, to me, I am actually highly inspired. I was part of Team Anna for 1 day. I lost. I disagreed with them. I believe leadership is about work at the center. Leadership is not about me being at the center. The moment you put yourself at the center, you destroy your work. It's always about the work at the center, and that's what the enlightened leadership is about. I found that did happen in the anti-corruption movement. They suddenly start putting themselves, not fighting corruption, as important. In Karnataka, after seeing all that, I realized that India is no longer a poor country. We are deliberately keeping a large sections of our people poor because we are all milking the system to stay rich. And I have seen it in absolute evidence.
That is the basic principle of ruling.
And I found 3 things in India. There is one, the dangerous thing, all of us as Indian citizens must worry about. The first thing I found is we all believe there's a class that, we all believe that we elect our rulers, right? The democratic system. And we believe we are the ruled. But what we don't see is a hidden class that rules all of us. And that is today, in my opinion, Karnataka, I'm not saying nationally, I'm seeing it. The class that rules, unfortunately, is the corporate world today. Our policies are shaped by them, our thinking is shaped by them, our consumerist philosophies are shaped by them, our markets are driven by them, our attitudes are being formed by them, and that is dangerous. And we are all getting bowled over by the system. I'll give an example and stop. Subsidy for the poor, there's such an argument in debate, in Planning Commission, Government of India. If you take up last year's budget document, go to the website and download it. I request each one of you, as average Indian citizens, what do we see in the budget? We see the cigarette price went up, car price went up, income tax exemption went up. We don't see anything beyond that in the budgets. Go see for a line item called foregone revenue. Foregone revenue. What is the government could have collected as revenue but decided to forego? Last year was 500,000 crore rupees. India as a country has got revenues to forego 500,000 crores but doesn't have 20,000 crores for the poor. And 500,000 crore was mostly foregone revenue from corporate sector. Who makes these policies? Who shapes it? So I believe it's very deep level corruption. What you see as scams are just the surface. A deeper philosophical, intellectual corruption in this democracy, which is destroying our constitutional foundations, is what I saw in Lokayukta. And I was very nervous and frightened. I was very impotent and helpless. I couldn't do anything about it. No more questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inspired talk. I hope all the participants were enlightened by his inspirational talk on the enlightenment of the leadership. The next panel on our, in fact, the last panel of speaker is Mr. Yedukondalu Kumpati, Deputy Director, Me Seva Services. I request him to occupy that. Before introducing the panel of the speaker, I would like to make an announcement. See, we have arranged a dinner at 8 p.m. in the same premises. All are requested to participate in the dinner, and this will also enable you to have an informal chat with all the resource persons. So almost we have around 10 to 12 resource persons right now available. You can have an informal chat with them, and if you have any doubts, and you can get it clarified them, and also it will facilitate an opportunity to talk among yourselves on the so much of sessions that have been taken place. I request all of you to join us for the dinner, and I welcome on behalf of the CIPS officers. And another announcement from my colleague.
Sorry, a small announcement from Commissioner of Community Education. All the ID college principals are requested to assemble at this place at 7:30 p.m. before the dinner, because some important things are to be discussed with you. Please assemble at this place at 7:30. Okay, thank you.
So that is all the reason why you should attend our dinner also. So distinguished participants, you already have the insight of Akshaya model in Kerala. So in order to tag on to that Akshaya model, what we have in Andhra Pradesh is Me Seva services. So the last panel of speaker today is Mr. Edupadu Kuppati. He is Deputy Director Me Seva Services. He has 25 years of service on e-governance and he is principal character in building the Me Seva services in Andhra Pradesh. He would make a presentation on innovative practices in e-governance. Please get enlightened. Thank you, sir. You can make.
ఈ సేవ పోయి మీ సేవ వచ్చింది ఇక్కడ ఈ ఏడుకొండలా కుంపడి పెడతాను ఈ టైప్కి వచ్చి కుంపడి పెడతాను.
May I draw your attention, please?
Yeah.
Yes, I understand at 5:30 drawing your attention before you go, it's difficult. But you will be listening about a project which has got the Prime Minister Award and the only one major successful e-governance initiative in the whole South Asia Pacific region. For the next 30 minutes, you will be knowing about the project which has created the wonders. Recently, you might have seen some news that Vijayawada has done more than 2 crores of transactions. 2 crores of transactions. It means literally it has touched the hearts of 2 crore people of Andhra Pradesh. There are about 8 to 10 states who has competed with this to roll out a similar project in the country. But none of them has seen this type of success. Even just 2 days back, there is a delegation from the government of Tripura. Government of Tripura. Am I audible to you? Am I audible to you to the last bench? No. Okay. Now. Right. They have actually really wondered how this event is made as a success. When they had hardly 5 districts in the state, they are not in a position to implement. But how Andhra Pradesh has implemented this? How 2 crore transaction in a span of 1 year is happened? That's what you will be knowing about now. Try to concentrate, and this is not only for you, this is for everybody. If you know the secrets, you will also implement in your own department and try to help the citizens.
Next.
Let's see why e-governance. I said it's the most successful e-governance project. What is e-governance? Why e-governance? Do we really need e-governance? What is e-governance and why we need e-governance? You see this, loss of confidence of government in the worldwide. People do not have the confidence in the government, not only in India, but also in the whole world. Americans who said, about 75% of Americans said, they trust the government in the year 1964. Same people said, they trust the government again, but hardly 25% of the people said in the year 1990. Do you know what is our reaction in the country? How many people trust the government? Any guess? 0. 10. Truly 0. No. At least the roller has got his vote at least. Is it? More than 70% people do not trust the government in the country. And that is why we need initiatives like e-governance. And if you continue this, maybe for the next term you will not be there to govern. And another reason is increase in the normal corruption levels. These are all attributed to only the trust of the citizen. Accuracy and perfection, speedy delivery, avoiding human interface for service delivery to possible extent. To achieve all these things, you need some e-governance projects. So MiSeva is one among the most successful e-governance projects, and you will be knowing the facts about the MiSeva project in the next 15-20 minutes.
Next.
What is the ultimate aim of our e-governance? The ultimate aim of our e-governance is good governance. What is good governance? A governance which is with a simple technology, user-friendly, citizen service oriented. All these things are to be achieved. But we should not be encircled with only E. If you are totally 100% dependent on E, you will be forgetting the fact that you will have to give the good service to the citizen. This is the topic actually given to us. If you see the workshop title, Innovation in Education, Health, Urban Governance, and the last one is E-Governance. This is what we will be discussing or talking about next 13-14 minutes. Some of the successful e-governance projects in the country, if you take, these are some of the successful projects. Do you know what is the first e-governance project which has seen the success in the country? Is the passenger reservation system of railways. IRCTC has come just now, but it was started much earlier. And do you know the trouble that has taken by the India to implement this project? TRS. It took 3 years for them to start the project. 3 years is not because of the technology, that is the complex. 3 years not because of the investment it has to go in. 3 years it has taken to convince the people working in the railways. They had a fear that if once the computerization takes place, they may lose the jobs. Same project was implemented in the UK. Just within 6 months from the date of project is ready. I mean, technically it is ready. But still it is implemented in India and it is most successful one. And large number of implementation methodologies are tested. They have simply adopted this most successful methodology after 2.5 years. That is, they have not asked the employees of the railways to work on the computers. For 6 months they were asked to play on the computers. Not even a single work is given. They were just given a computer and asked to play on that. After working for 1 month, citizens themselves have started using it for their own letter writing, for their own calculation on the Excel sheets. And after 2-3 months, they all has demanded, yes, we need computers, give me some more computers, we will do our regular work on that. So this is the strategy they have played. In the country of India, 70% of the e-governance projects has seen the failure. When you analyze in deep, most of them has got a failure in the implementation strategy. You need a strategy. It is not a scope to implement any e-governance project. E-governance project will definitely bring some certain amount of transparency, which we normally don't like. certain amount of re-engineering in your regular process, which you don't like. Certain amount, and you also feel that certain amount of power is taken away from you, which you don't like. That is why, whatever the project you start, you need to get some resistance. If you are getting a resistance from that, it means your project is working. If you are not getting resistance, means there is something wrong in your project. It is not working toward the direction it is supposed to be. So every project will get a resistance, and to take up, to deal with this system, you need to get a resistance. But how do you deal with that? You should always swim. Your water is always hot. You should have your clear strategy. If you take a first step, what would be the resistance, and how do you take up that? That clear strategy is required, and that is why PRS is successful, and we also are successful in ME7. I will tell you what steps we have taken. These are some of the most successful projects. Online ticket booking, Bhumi project in Karnataka, Part in registration department, computer aided registration department in Andhra Pradesh, then the Vijayawada centers in Andhra Pradesh. Today you have about 7,000 delivery centers in state of Andhra Pradesh which are delivering citizen services. You go to any of these 7,000 centers, you have more than 200 services available there. You name the department, we have the service now. You name the revenue department, you name transport department, you name even social welfare department, education department. Even for the education department also we have. Even the, you name any department, we have the service. Then the local and commercial taxes payment system and citizen service centers of GHMC, Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation. Broadband, luxury or necessity? How many of you can answer this, whether the broadband is a luxury or necessity? Necessity.
It has become a part already. It has become a part.
Not a luxury.
No.
What do a poor woman who do not have a facility for a toilet will do with this broadband? What do a poor lady who is living in the very remote village, who do not have a toilet facility, what is that she will do?
Maybe use it for.
It is luxury for whom? It is a necessity for whom? Then it is luxury.
No.
For them it is luxury. And how many of us are living in the rural areas, and how many of them are living in the urban areas? 66% are living in rural areas. Then for 66% it is a necessity or luxury.
Essential.
No, for you.
Keep always in mind, when we are talking some general part, take the maximum percentage of the people into consideration and take your decision. That is what we have to know.
Sir, even for the rural people, though they are in below poverty line, they need some service from broadband. One or the other, it is connected with broadband.
What is that?
For example, white card they need.
Yeah.
The poor people, but they need white card.
Right.
That should be necessary for example.
Why broadband is required for the white card?
No. To generate white card or to give.
Even to generate white card, why?
For a cash certificate or an income certificate for a son or daughter, to admit in a school or college.
Now, what is her priority? Does she need a cash certificate or she need a toilet facility every day? Okay, right. I understand. In fact, I tell you, in fact, you are all right. It is not a luxury, it is a necessity. I tell you why, not because of that. This is the broadband which enables us to give her a service required. Maybe immediately not the toilet we can construct with this, but there are large number of services which can be rendered to her using this broadband. I have about 300 services booked in my service. All these 300 can be made available to her using this broadband. Without this, I cannot give her. So that is why it has become a necessity now, not the luxury. Then this can also be used for education, for your tele-education you can use, and for telemedicine you can use. You can also use for the e-commerce, public service delivery, it can also be used. And ideally suited for remote and inaccessible area where broadband is a necessity. Yeah, next. What are the different types of services that we are rendering now? Government to citizen services, government to business services, and government to government services. Government to citizen services are the services we are giving to the normal citizen now. There are certain services we give it to the businessman also to keep the delivery channels financially viable. If there is no financial viability of the person who is serving us, he will not continue to serve us. So we have to take the financial viability of the person who is serving us. To make him financially viable, we have also started government to business services. For example, payment of the insurance premium, payment of the private telephone bill. Then there are certain services from government to government also we can give. If some service is required for a particular department A from department X, that can also be given through e-service. And now we are also going to citizen services. This medium can also be used among the citizens themselves. And B2B also. And what is the concept of citizen service center? Supply side and demand side of an e-governance. Public-private partnership. One-stop shop for citizens. Requirements of all age groups. Public and private services. Role of PCOs and cybercapes. And can they be models for rural banking and telemedicine and also for the multifacial activities? In fact, we have considered all these factors in creating this concept of citizen service centers. Supply side, public and private partnership, one-stop shop for citizens, requirements of all age groups. In considering each of these points, a lot of research has gone. Why we have chosen only the public-private partnership model? Because we have seen 75% of the government initiative has totally seen the failure, especially in the e-governance project. One-stop shop for citizens. We have also seen number of services delivery models which are specific to the particular department. The same model they have done. But they have seen a failure because there is no financial viability or technical feasibility with that. That is why we have chosen one-stop shop for citizens. Services of all the departments are brought to a single umbrella. Yeah, next. Now we have come to the real stuff. What is MeSave? How many of you are aware about MeSave? None? I am surprised. None?
Is it because of the lack of attention or is it because of the lack of knowledge? I find that Vijayawada is something which is occupying our physical, mental space every day, some form or other. So I only feel that you are all a little anxious to move out of this. This lack of patience, lack of perseverance as has been pointed out by Dr. Balasubramanian. These are attitudes, qualities that we need to imbibe. Patience to listen to the last speaker, perseverance to understand even at the end of the day. I know that our abilities are at a lower level, but kindly, by your unstinted attention to the speaker, you will be doing a great deal of service to yourself add to the presentation being made. Kindly cooperate and listen.
If you are feeling that I am talking only the things which you have already known or better known, I will quickly pass through and make you interesting. Oh, I am not edible. Okay now? Okay. So I asked one question and there is no reply from you. How many of you are aware of Me Seva? All. Not good. Yeah, I tell you. Thank you. We have created a way in such a way that nobody can escape from Me Seva. We have stopped issuing the caste certificate from Mandal Revenue Officer. You cannot escape. If somebody says that I don't know, that is a myth. We have stopped issuing the certified copies of the registration department from the registration office. So you cannot escape. You will have to come to the Me Seva and avail the service. So you know everybody. All of you are aware. Me Seva is doing about 2,25,000 transactions in a day. You will not find this much big e-governance initiative in the whole South Asia Pacific region. You used to find, or you used to spend at least more than 4 hours to get a certified copy from a registration department. Whereas now if you go to any of the 7,000 Vijayawada centers in the state and ask for any certified copy of the state, it is issued in just 10 to 15 minutes. Yes. Me Seva literally means at your service, a single entry portal for the entire range of services, seamless and paperless to the extent possible, central pooling of records, digitally signing, storing them in the database and rendering them using a web service. This is the heart of the Me Seva. That is how we are able to actually render the service. What we have done in this is, if you take a birth certificate, now birth certificate can be issued in the Me Seva centers in just 5 to 10 minutes. How is it made possible? What is birth certificate? This is to certify that X and X, son of Y, born on so and so day, living at so and so day. That's all. And at the bottom, signature of the registrar who is issuing that. This information is actually available in the books of the records in the normal offices. He is just reproducing that, giving his signature at the bottom and issuing in the form of certificate. What we have done is,